Welcome to the 34th episode of the J&J podcast. My name is John.
And I'm Joe.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today and tuning in for our 34th episode. I hope everybody's having a good day and a great week. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing really well. I just got back from a really cool department dinner with my coworkers and boss. I work in housekeeping.
Awesome.
I scrub floor toilets.
That sounds exciting.
And 0 cents an hour. Anyway, the dinner was really nice.
What were they serving?
Well, we went to a restaurant, and it was really nice. I got buffalo chicken wrap.
Was it a local restaurant or was it like a chain? What'd you say?
It was a local place.
Okay, your mic keeps cutting in and out.
Local place.
Okay. All right. Was the food at least decent? Was it okay?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's probably some of the best food I've had while I've been here.
Really? That high?
Really good. I really enjoyed it.
So you would go back?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like it's a place like when you come down or up or whatever next year.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
So getting on a plane, John. Like, we go on a trip somewhere.
What'd you say, Joe? Your mic keeps cutting in and out.
Having a dream about me and you going on a trip together.
Where was the dream? Where are we going?
I'm not really sure.
Well, I mean, we did discuss going to Vegas. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So I just came back from meeting one of my idols. I just met my idol, Amy Schumer, who I've been watching on TV and I've seen live a whole bunch of times now. And it was a very, very, very interesting event, I gotta say. This was labeled as a high security... What's going on, Joe?
What's going on?
I don't know, you're flashing, your eyes are so wide and you're, like, looking at something.
Oh, no, I just like messing with you, John. I knew it would distract you from the story.
First I wasn't going to say anything, but then you were doing it just for a little too long, and I'm like, alright, something going on.
That was the point. Okay, continue.
So I got to meet Amy Schumer, which was a big deal for me. Shut up, Joe! Stop it!
Okay, continue, John.
Alright, so I got to go meet Amy Schumer today, which is, like, really cool. And it was a big deal for me, because I've been watching her on television for a long time, and I've seen her live, her stand-up shows, a few times now. And there was a big, crazy thing happened. Halfway through the book signing, a protest broke out. A surprise protest.
Of what, Nate?
Here's what happened. 15 people got out of their seats, and they were hiding signs in their pockets and in their backpacks that no one knew about. And it happened, well, apparently like a year ago, Amy Schumer was photographed wearing a coat that had real fur on it. And apparently when this all happened a year ago, she claims that she didn't know that the curtain had fur on it, and as soon as she found out, she got rid of it. Which, as a person who's part of PETA or one of these no fur activist groups, like that's like a win, right? Like you.
Now wait. I want to say something about PETA. I'm part of the PETA group.
Well, I don't think this was. I don't think this was PETA. I think this was a just a animal activist group, just in general.
Now, can I tell you my honest issue with animal activists, John? I hate them.
Sure.
Like, I love the people, but I hate animal activism.
Sure.
I can't stand it because animals they're subhumans.
Right, they're meant to be eaten. God created them for us to eat.
Like, basically, we have animals for a few reasons.
Right.
Take care to give us like fur, right? So we can stay warm. Eat, and basically be our entertainment. Right now, that doesn't mean that we should abuse them, but it does mean that, listen, if I have a dog and the dog dies, I'm not crying over it. Another dog.
Well, if I had a pet, I would be very upset. If I had a dog, I love dogs. If I had a dog, I'd be very upset. If it died.
Okay,
So,
granted, it's smarter than you, so I guess I can see where you're coming from.
So like 15 people broke out, and I gotta say, before the signing took place, before anything happened, I saw this guy sitting down in his chair, and he did not look right. And I gotta say, they never say judge a book by its cover, but man, did I judge, and man, was I right. Because before this all happened, everyone was just kind of sitting in their seats waiting for Amy Schumer to arrive. This guy, he was bald, and what he did was he had tattoos all around his head and his face and his it looked like he looked freaky. I was like, in my head I was saying, I'm like, this guy doesn't look right in the head. And then, but I didn't say, yeah, I know, but I didn't say anything. But I didn't know, and probably animal activist was probably probably the lowest thing on my list. I was thinking when it came down to looking at this guy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So this happened. 15 people broke out, and it was crazy. And I gotta say, props to Amy Schumer for one thing. I would have expected, and I'm sure a lot of celebrities would have just been escorted out into like a private, security thing. She got up and stood in front of the fans that were on the stage, waiting to receive their book. It was like their turn. She was standing in front of them, which I gotta give major props to, because I cannot picture another celebrity.
Yeah, did you get yours signed?
I did get mine signed, yes. After what happened was they were protesting, and they had security there.
Please tell me someone's tased them.
They weren't tased, but fist fights did break out. They were fist fighting with the security.
I'm sorry. If an animal activist got tased in front of me, I'd probably point and laugh. I'd be like, now you know how the bacon feels when it.
I was about to say, I'd probably cook them and eat them. It was kind of crazy. Amy Schumer was trying to talk. She was trying to explain herself and explain to us, like she did once they got escorted out, that she got rid of the coat and everything, and she does not support it. She honestly didn't know, and as soon as she found out, she got rid of it.
Was she cool, calm, and collected?
What did you say?
Was she cool, calm, and collected?
Yeah, she was cool, calm, and collected. She was actually pretty funny about it too. She was good. She was making jokes about it too, which was really good.
Yeah, I actually at the place that we went to today, there were TVs, and I saw her on a commercial with Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, for Budweiser, I think that is.
Yep.
Or Coors Light, one of them. She does a beer campaign.
Yeah, and I saw that, and I thought of you.
Aw, thank you. But she did good. And I don't even care that she wore the fur. Like, I don't even care. Now animal activists are becoming
not human, John. Listen, okay, when all the humans in the world are taken care of and they're saved and they're well, then I'll worry about.
Right. No, I don't wear anything that has like actual animal fur or like real leather or anything, because I don't have that type of money. But frankly, I wouldn't want to either. I don't care. The fake fur is fine. The fake leather is fine. It's whatever. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. And they were literally fist fighting with the security, which I thought was kind of like crazy and super crazy though. I didn't know they were trying to throw stuff at her too, and the security had to jump on them. I
bet animal activists are crazy, John. They
were trying to throw her own book at her.
Hey, John. Walked into a club.
What? Your microphone.
A baby seal walked into a club.
I got it.
It took you a second.
But yeah, so that happened, and it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little scary, because you didn't know what the hell you didn't know if one of these guys had a gun, or if they had.
Trust me, don't worry. You're ugly enough that if anyone ever shot at you, the bullet would just go around you.
I know, but it was really crazy. It was I've been to many book signings in my day, and I've never ever seen anything like that before. That's crazy. And then what else happened? I also want to say that a couple of months ago, this happened at a different book signing for Kim Kardashian. The same thing happened. These animal activists came.
No, we should do the animal activists.
What?
We should stick the canine unit on them. Like, what do? They can't fight back because then they're hypocrites.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, these are people I really don't want to mess with, to be completely honest with you.
Listen, okay, I get it if you're scared of Muslims, but if you're really scared of animal activists, all right.
No, I'm not scared of them at all. I just don't want to deal with them. There's a difference.
So I have something interesting to talk about.
Sure.
Old friend of mine who may or may not have dated this person at one point or another wrote a very interesting blog, and I've got to say I'm a little offended.
Yes, one of your ex-girlfriends is a writer for a popular website named the Odyssey, which is...
Whoa, we can't be dropping names, John. We can't be dropping names like that.
We're dropping name of the... Okay, do you know how people write for the Odyssey? It's like, come on, dude. Relax. So, somebody that Joe used to date is a writer for the Odyssey, and wrote an article, and we're not going to give the title of the article because we don't want you to know who he or she is.
Well, no, it's going to be a she. It's going to be a she.
Joe, do you really want to narrow it down? We don't know who he or she or transgendered, bisexual. We don't know what they identify as, right, Joe?
Oh, John.
I think it's after what we read, I think it's fair to say.
I think my biggest issue with what was written is the fact that she made it seem like every guy in the whole world treated her like that.
Let's talk about. Let's say what she's. Joe, can you explain what she wrote on that article in the Odyssey?
I can paraphrase it just because I don't have it up right in front of me. Basically, she was like, every guy that I ever knew, or like guys would come up to me and tell me everything that they would want to do to me and all these different things. And I won't lie, I'm not bitter about the fact that this person broke up with me, because they broke up with me like years ago. Right? And I love my current girlfriend to death. I wouldn't trade her for the world. But what made me a little bitter about that is that it made it seem like all guys everywhere treat women like crap, when that's really not true. Right, like I treat women like, no matter whether I date them or not, I treat women with dignity, with respect. Right, I never say anything I'm going to do to them. Right, I might even say, I would say, some would call me sexist. Right, I won't let women carry heavy boxes. Right, I won't let them hold doors for me. Right, like I'm very strict about it. Offensive to me.
Oh, right, sure.
And I feel like, because John, like, you know this person too, that it might.
I do.
You, because you never went up to them and was like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this to you.
Yeah. One direct quote from the article was something like, guys would come up to her and say to her something like, you have fat in all the right places. One of the things that set both Joe and I off was that this woman is claiming that she was sexually harassed for 2 years, and that's just not true at all.
To be fair, we don't know everything she's been through.
Joe, you would know if she got sexually. First of all, if you got sexually harassed for 2 years, you would, like, obviously you freaking tell someone after 2 years, I
think my biggest issue is just like how it's like, no, men aren't pigs. You know what I mean? We're not all over women. Like, I don't look at a woman and think like you have fat in all the right places. Like, I look at a woman and I'm like, okay, like, are you, do you love Jesus? Are you, intellectually sound? Because I look at a woman.
Yeah, I agree. I look for just
me off a little bit,
Yeah.
We have another friend who will also remain nameless, who's a real man basher. She really hates. You can tell, like, based off the things she writes, she hates men. She'll write terrible things about men, and then she writes on Facebook, "I don't understand why I can't get a man."
Oh yeah, totally.
She treats men like garbage.
Right. Yeah, no, she treats men like garbage. The way she writes about them on Facebook, I would never. And also, I think she needs to wear more makeup. I just want to go on record and say that. I just want to go on record and say that I think she needs to wear more makeup.
I just think it's really sad. I think it's really sad about, like, a lot of women have this perverse perception of men that we're all pigs, and we're really not all pigs.
You know, I treat my girls with, dignity and respect. And, I treat them the way I'd want to be treated. When they want to be tied down, I tie them down. And
oh, God. There you go. You just had to take it too far, John.
No, when I treat women with respect. And
then another thing that pisses me off is there are a lot of women that, like, if you pay for them on a date, they're like, "Oh, you're being sexist." Like, make up your mind. You either want a gentleman or you don't, but you can't have it both ways.
Didn't that happen to you?
Happened to me. I've had a few things happen to me. One time I held the door open for this chick, and she was like, "That's really sexist. I can hold the door for myself."
Yeah, I've had that happen to me too.
Craziest thing in the world. Did you ever hear my Hitler feminist theory?
What'd you say? You get a microphone.
Did you hear about my Hitler feminist theory?
No, but you're the one that's worried about employers listening to this. So you choose if you want to identify yourself with Hitler. That's up to you.
I'm not identifying myself with Hitler, but I think at the end of this theory, you'll understand why some people call it feminazis.
Okay.
So basically, the idea is this, that in the 1940s, or 1930s rather, no one ever, like, women knew their place, men knew their place, no one ever deviated from their place.
Yeah.
Because in World War II, women had to start taking up the jobs men had to do, right? Because all the men were off to war.
Okay.
But the idea that men and women could do the same thing, which I'm going to tell you the guys on a shoot down, we can't.
Right? I honestly thought the other way until I was in a mall in Jersey and it was Christmas time, and this pissed me off so much. I saw a woman playing Santa Claus at the mall, which, by the way, guys, spoiler alert, Santa Claus is not real.
If you have kids, shut this off now.
I was so annoyed that a woman was playing Santa Claus. I almost wanted to, like, out it. Like, that's not the real Santa Claus.
Well, what you have to understand, John, is the reason why feminism is so bad is because it confuses the world. Men cannot step up and be men if women are trying to be men. Like, I'm sorry, right? The Ghostbusters will never be men. Right?
Which, by the way, that movie's about to tank financially. It's not going to make back what it costs to make and to advertise and everything. So it looks like we're not going to be seeing any more of that. And did you hear about the new all-women Ocean's 11 remake?
I did. I heard it was Ocean's 12.
It's actually called Ocean's 8.
Oh, okay. Well, we're both wrong then.
They made Oceans 12 and 13 as well. Oceans 11, 12, and 13. But they're making Oceans 8, and it's going to be a remake. It's going to be like a reboot of the series to Oceans 11, and it's going to it's going to be an all-woman cast. Sandra Bullock, Mindy Kaling, Rihanna. If you have Rihanna in your cast, then you know the movie's just going to fail. And a few other women. That, Ocean's 11 is such a... Here's the thing I feel about that. I have no problem with a movie that stars all women. I don't. That's fine. Don't call it Ocean's 8. Don't make it a reboot of Ocean's 11. If you want to make a horror film or like a horror comedy film with ghosts, with Melissa McCarthy, fine, but don't call it Ghostbusters. Don't put it in that universe. Call it something else. Don't put it within the universe of these critically acclaimed films, because they're just not going to be that good.
I think also, and I think Star Wars did this too by having a main female character. I know you don't know anything about the new Star Wars, but there's a,
I just...
I think a
So
big problem.
there's controversy right now in the Star Wars world because there's a female character that's a main character.
Right. And I think a big problem is, and I'm not sexist, right? Like, I think that women and men are totally equals, but I don't believe we can do the same things,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like, men should always fight on the front line. Men should always carry heavy objects. Men should always hold doors, right? Like, those are things. And the problem with our society is when you have movies with women being the main character and there's no men, it gives men the role model that they can be nothing and women will be fine, and it gives women the role model that they don't need men. And listen, newsflash, okay? You need a man in your life. If you're a woman and you're listening to this and you don't have a man, you need a man.
Okay. Well, I think you're getting a little too hard on this. Okay, not every.
And wait, no. Let me continue, John.
Joe, how long was your mom a single mom for?
Yes. 7 years.
And she did it. She raised you, and she raised your brother, which is awesome. You know, she did a great job. You know, I think your mom did a great job as a single parent.
And she would tell you she did not agree with it for a second.
I'm not saying it was easy. Yeah. I'm just saying she did a good job.
She did absolutely a good job, but she, at the end,
Joe,
the woman needs a man.
Joe, you're gonna have to repeat that whole thing. Your microphone just gave out.
I said, a woman needs a man and a man needs a woman, right? And the idea that one can live without the other just simply is factual, right? Because without a man and without a woman, we wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody of the opposite sex, and it's something that our society needs to accept.
Right, but I'm also saying though that your mom, it's not like a woman can't. You know, your mom did a great job of raising both you and your brother.
She can, but she shouldn't have to.
I'm not saying she should have to, given all the circumstances. I'm just saying,
but I'm saying, like, our society,
she could.
Our society, though, paints the picture that she didn't have to, right? Like, she doesn't need a man, right? Because, right, Ghostbusters says, right, there are no men in this cast, right? Or, like, Star Wars is like, you know, like, Rey could do everything. She was a Jedi and she was a pilot and she was, you know, good with a blaster and she doesn't need a man, right? Or, like, the Ocean's 11, like, no, or Ocean's 8, rather. Like, no, like, women need men and men need women, right? And there are
Now, question. This new Star Wars character, and I'm only asking because I don't follow the Star Wars, I don't follow anything involving Star Wars. Right. This new lead female character in the Star Wars movies, is this like an old character from like the books that they put in, or is this just like a totally new character that they just threw in, you know, it was just created by the director type of thing?
Yeah, they took the books, they threw out the books, basically. There's nothing left from the books.
Okay, so this character was just made from them.
Right. No one knows anything about this character except for presumably J.J. Abrams and the actress who plays her.
Right. I can understand why that would be a bit of a problem. If it was from the books, I would say, like, all right, so there's no issue with that.
Right, and there are plenty of strong female leads in the books, but none of them are the main character.
Right. But I'm just saying, I can understand introducing a totally new character and why that would be a problem. Yeah.
Right. And I was really sad because there's so much book material, too.
Sure.
There's something like 30-something Star Wars books.
Yeah, and it probably had to do, I bet you it had to do with a rights issue. I think they probably couldn't get the rights or something.
I don't know. I was just really sad to see what they're doing with my fandom.
Oh. But you're going to go see the new movie anyway, so nothing will get done.
Oh, of course. And I'm disappointed.
What'd you say?
I'm disappointed with the fact that so you wouldn't know this because you don't follow the Star Wars franchise. But the first movie that came out, you know, by Disney, 2 years after the last movie, right?
Okay.
But this December takes place in between episodes 3 and 4.
All right, so they're kind of going back.
Right, but both of them have a female lead, which I feel is totally unnecessary because there are plenty of strong male leads that can play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard when you're working with a totally new character, and it kind of feels like they're jumping on the feminist bandwagon.
They really are, and it makes me really... And it's not just... and it's not just the fact that they're like. I feel like, and I don't know this because I haven't seen the new one yet. It hasn't come out, but just based off the trailers, the new main character looks like a whiny teenager.
Really?
Like that's what I get from her. Like if you watch the trailer, right, she just feels like a whiny teenager.
I gotcha completely. Yeah, that's no, that's a shame. That's a shame, and it's. I really kind of it frightens me. I kind of feel like people are just all jumping on these bandwagons, and like, look, I'm all for support. You know, I don't. I'm all for supporting other things, but I kind of feel like people are just taking this stuff to a whole nother level that just does not need to be put into.
Right. And it's really sad. And honestly, and I'm going to say I'm a little worried as a white male in America. I feel like very discriminated against.
What if what if the tables get turned in the future, Joe, and being a white male is not going to be as cracked up as it is to, what if that happens,
God, it's cracked up today. Are you kidding me? Well, if I was a female, okay, I would be able to get a job at Dunkin' Donuts way easier than the fact that I'm a white male.
If you're a Native American, you can get into any college you want.
I know, it's really sad. It's like, no, like these things should be based off of legitimate skill.
I completely agree. Yeah, I went to Atlantic City. It's part of my birthday present.
Ladies and gentlemen, he got an STD, didn't you? Got an STD, didn't you?
I did not get an STD. I did not sleep with anyone. I did not hook up with anyone. Right okay, I did not hook up with anyone. I did not sleep with anyone. Nothing happened. I did drink a lot. That happened. I had 6 drinks that night. And I was feeling great. And every drink had vodka in it. I'm starting to feel like I love vodka.
Don't love vodka, John. Don't love wine. That's what the Bible says.
Vodka is not wine, Joe. Vodka is like pure alcohol.
Don't.
Hello?
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
No, you froze up and your microphone went out.
I said, don't love alcohol.
Oh. Joe, I only drink it on occasions. I only drink it on days that end in Y.
I only drink it on occasions because I swear, John, every time I talk to you, Brody, I just had a drink. Feel great.
Look, okay, first of all, that's never after one drink. It's after a few drinks, okay? Get your story straight. And no, I'm not drinking all the damn time, okay? I haven't had a drink since Atlantic City on Friday night. I haven't had
that's a whole week.
I haven't had a drink since Friday night, so I'm good. But yeah, Atlantic City was great. I only lost $5 in total at the casino. I lost some money, but I gained it mostly back. The Borgata, I was staying at the Borgata, and the Borgata was crazy nice. And I got to see comedian Jerry Seinfeld perform. He's like a legend. So it was.
I've heard of him a lot, actually. I've never actually listened.
Have you ever heard the show Seinfeld?
Yes.
That's him. He made the show Seinfeld. So so I got to see him live, and that was like that was a big thing for me because he's like the top of the top.
I'm happy you enjoyed yourself, Johnny.
Thank you, and I really want to go to Vegas with you after all this. I think me and you will have a blast.
Yeah, but you have to understand, John, I won't gamble, drink, or hastically preach there. Like that'll be our trip in a nutshell.
All right, that's what you can do. I will gamble and drink and do whatever it is I want to do.
The only state where prostitution is legal.
I know, that's why we're going.
That's why you're going.
No, I would never buy a prostitute. Please,
yeah, you're right. You just hook up with certain people.
Joe, I would never buy a prostitute. I mean, let's get real here. You rent prostitutes. Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story of the time I accidentally paid a prostitute?
Yes, you've told me.
Now that I've said that, though, I have to tell the story to the audience.
Okay.
So it was like 12 o'clock in the morning, and me and John had just got done hanging out, and I was on my way to my grandma's house, and this woman in a very short dress comes up to me. She was a prostitute. I'm very naive. She was like, "Can I have some money?" And I gave her some money, and she was like, "What do you want?" And I said, "What do you mean? What do I want?" She was like, when she goes on to describe many things that she would do with me, and I was like,
Name
no,
those
no, no,
things. Name those things.
No, she was
Name
like,
those things.
No.
Name those things.
I was like, listen, Jesus loves you. Like you're made in the image of God. You don't have to do this. And she was like, so here's your money back then. And I was like, no, like if this keeps you off the street for any length of time, like take it, right? Like Jesus loves you. And then as soon as I turned my back, she went into a car.
But all right. So
do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, it's fine. All right, so guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the J&J podcast. Be sure to go online and buy all of our merchandise at www.jnjpodcast.spreadshirt.com. Feel free to listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and anywhere where podcasts are listened to. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, we have to do recommendations and Bible time with Joe.
Lovely.
Okay,
right, Joe,
so
get your Bible time out of the way.
Bible time with Joe, and I'm going to be reading from Ephesians chapter 3, verses 14 through 18. As soon as I can get my Bible.
Because your fat ass doesn't want to just actually get up and get it.
Okay, I got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ephesians 3, chapter 3, verses through 18. Get ready for this. For this reason, I kneel before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth derives its name. For his glorious riches, he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your innermost being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the Lord's holy people, grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ for you.
Bravo. Well, my recommendation is you go check out The Girl with the Lower Back Tattoo by Amy Schumer.
And my recommendation is you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to point out John's particular tastes and views are not the particular tastes and views of the J&J podcast. And if you are a future employer listening to this, please, please, please do not hire me just because of John. I will stop being his friend if I need to.
And if you need a reference, feel free to call me up. Don't worry, I give great references.
All right. Thank you. My recommendation. Hold on, I have a recommendation. My recommendation is Sour Patch Kids, because I just had a ton of them today and they were great.
That will be great on your diet, Joe. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace out, Cub Scout.
Peace out, Cub Scout.